Have you ever wondered who truly invented the future we live in today? It wasn't just one person, but if we had to pick a single, often overlooked mastermind, it would be Nikola Tesla. This is the story of the forgotten genius who dreamed up our modern world, only to be largely erased from its history. Born in 1856 in a small village called Smiljan in what is now Croatia, Tesla was a child of lightning. A dramatic thunderstorm raged during his birth, which a midwife called a bad omen. His mother, however, declared, "No, he will be a child of light." And she couldn't have been more right. From a young age, Tesla possessed a brilliant, almost photographic memory and an incredible ability to visualize complex machinery in his mind, down to the last screw, before ever building a single part. This wasn't just a talent. It was a superpower that would define his entire life. After studying engineering, he moved to America in 1884, with little more than the clothes on his back and a letter of recommendation to the most famous inventor of the era, Thomas Edison. Edison was a celebrity, the Wizard of Menlo Park, famous for his direct current, or DC, electrical system. He hired Tesla and was immediately impressed by his brilliance. Edison even supposedly offered Tesla $50,000, a fortune back then, to improve his inefficient DC dynamo. Tesla, working tirelessly, did just that, presenting a vastly superior design. But when he asked for his payment, Edison laughed it off, saying, "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor." This was a turning point. Tesla realized he couldn't work for a man who didn't respect his genius or his word. He quit and struck out on his own. This event ignited one of the greatest rivalries in the history of science, the War of the Currents. Edison's DC system was inefficient. It couldn't travel long distances without losing power, requiring power plants every few miles. Tesla had a better idea: alternating current, or AC. AC could be stepped up to high voltages, transmitted over hundreds of miles with minimal power loss, and then stepped down for safe use in homes and factories. It was elegant, efficient, and far superior. Tesla partnered with George Westinghouse, an industrialist who saw the potential in AC. This put them in direct competition with Edison's DC empire. Edison, fearing the loss of his royalties, launched a vicious smear campaign against AC. He publicly electrocuted stray animals, and even an elephant, using AC to prove how dangerous it was. He tried to associate the term Westinghouse with being electrocuted. It was a brutal battle of ideas and public relations. But technology won out. The decisive moment came with the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. Both Westinghouse with Tesla SAC and Edison S, General Electric with DC bid to light the entire exhibition. Westinghouse won the contract with a significantly lower bid, and that year, the City of Light dazzled hundreds of thousands of visitors, all powered by Tesla's alternating current. The war was effectively over. Shortly after, Tesla and Westinghouse built the world's first major hydroelectric power plant at Niagara Falls, harnessing its immense power and transmitting it for miles. This was the moment our modern electrical grid was truly born. Every time you plug something into a wall socket, you are using the system that Nikola Tesla championed and designed. But Tesla didn't stop there. His mind was always racing ahead, to the next great frontier. He developed the Tesla coil, a revolutionary transformer that could produce incredibly high-voltage low-current, high-frequency alternating current. You've probably seen them in movies or science museums, shooting spectacular bolts of artificial lightning. But for Tesla, they were more than just a light show. They were the key to his next grand vision: wireless communication and the wireless transmission of energy. Decades before anyone else, Tesla envisioned a global wireless system. He believed he could send not just information, but electrical power through the air and the earth itself. Imagine a world with no power lines, where devices could draw energy right from the atmosphere. He built a massive experimental station called Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island, a giant mushroom-shaped structure designed to be the first broadcast tower for his worldwide wireless system. He believed it could send messages, images, and electricity to any point on the planet. This was a vision too far ahead of its time. His primary investor, the powerful banker J.P. Morgan, backed out when he realized Tesla's system wasn't about sending billable telegraphs, but about providing free energy for everyone. Morgan famously asked, "Where do we put the meter?" Without funding, Tesla's dream collapsed. Wardenclyffe was dismantled, and his grand vision of a connected, wirelessly powered world was put on hold for a century. And that wasn't all. While Guglielmo Marconi is often credited with inventing the radio, the U.S. Supreme Court later ruled that Tesla's patents had priority, confirming that Tesla was, in fact, the true father of radio. He experimented with robotics and developed one of the first ever remote-controlled devices, a small boat he demonstrated in Madison Square Garden in 1898, shocking the audience, who thought it was magic or telepathy. He also worked with X-rays, cryogenic engineering, and even conceptualized vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. His mind was a fountain of ideas that would become the cornerstones of 21st century technology. Despite his monumental contributions, Tesla's later life was marked by struggle and obscurity. He was a brilliant inventor, but a poor businessman. Many of his ideas were stolen or misunderstood. He gave away fortunes in patent royalties, choosing to focus on his next invention rather than on wealth. As he grew older, his eccentricities became more pronounced. He lived in New York City hotels, spending his days feeding pigeons, which he loved dearly. In 1943, at the age of 86, Nikola Tesla died alone and in debt in his hotel room. The man who had electrified the world, who had laid the groundwork for radio, remote control, and countless other modern marvels, died largely forgotten by the public he had sought to serve. After his death, the U.S. government seized many of his papers and research notes, and to this day, some of them remain classified, fueling speculation about what other incredible inventions he might have conceived. Today, his name is finally getting the recognition it deserves. A pioneering electric car company bears his name, and the Tesla is now the unit of measurement for magnetic field strength. But his legacy is far greater than that. It's in the lights of every city, the power in every home, and the wireless signals that connect our world. Nikola Tesla was a true visionary, a poet of science, a man who lived 100 years in the future. He didn't just invent devices. He invented the very framework of our modern existence. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more stories of forgotten history, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.